This is a simulated dialogue of a team discussion around choosing and implementing technologies for a full-stack web application using the Node.js ecosystem, considering clean code and clean architecture principles. Participants: Alice, team lead; Charlie, front-end developer; Dana, DevOps engineer; Eve, QA engineer; Charlie, front-end developer. Meeting agenda: choosing the database, deciding on authentication strategy, structuring the project, integrating CI/CD, ensuring clean code and clean architecture.
Thanks for joining, team. Let's start with our database choice. We have options like PostgreSQL, MySQL, MongoDB, and others. Any thoughts?
I suggest PostgreSQL. It's robust, and our data is highly relational, which fits well with SQL databases. Plus, it has great support for advanced features we might need down the line.
I agree. PostgreSQL has a strong community and good support for JSON, which might be useful for some of our dynamic data needs.
PostgreSQL is also a good choice from a DevOps perspective. It's stable, and we can easily set up backups and monitoring.
Great, PostgreSQL it is. Let's move on to authentication. Deciding on authentication strategy. For authentication, we have options like Passport.js, Auth0, or even building a custom JWT solution. Any preferences?
I've used Passport.js before, and it integrates well with Express. It supports multiple strategies like OAuth, which gives us flexibility.
From a testing standpoint, Passport.js has good documentation and community support, which will help us write comprehensive tests.
If we use Passport.js, we can also leverage its strategies for social logins, which could be a nice feature for our users.
Sounds like Passport.js is a solid choice. Let's go with that. Now, on to project structure and ensuring clean architecture. I want us to follow clean architecture principles to keep our code base maintainable. Bob, can you outline a basic structure?
Sure. We can separate our project into layers like this: domain, core business logic, and entities. Use cases, application-specific business rules. Interface adapters, controllers, mappers, and AP interfaces. Infrastructure, database implementations, server setup, and third-party services.
That makes sense. For the front end, I'll structure our Next.js project to keep components, pages, and services separate. We'll use Redux for state management where necessary.
I'll ensure our infrastructure layer is set up correctly with Docker for consistent environments and seamless deployments.
Excellent. Let's also enforce clean code practices. Dana, can you set up our CI/CD pipeline?
Absolutely. I'll configure GitHub Actions for continuous integration. We'll run our tests with Jest on each pull request to ensure code quality. For continuous deployment, we can use Circle CI to deploy to our staging and production environments.
I'll write tests to cover our critical paths first, focusing on both unit tests with Jest and end-to-end tests using Cypress.
Perfect. Clean code and architecture will be easier to maintain with proper CI/CD in place. Let's finalize our plan for clean code practices. To enforce clean code, we'll use ESLint and Prettier. Everyone should integrate these with their editors.
Agreed. And for clean architecture, I suggest we document our architecture decisions and keep diagrams updated in our repo.
We should also conduct regular code reviews to ensure adherence to these practices.
I'll add test coverage reports to our CI pipeline so we can track our progress.
Great teamwork, everyone. To summarize, we're using PostgreSQL for our database, Passport.js for authentication, a layered structure adhering to clean architecture, GitHub Actions and Circle CI for CI/CD, ESLint Prettier, and regular code reviews for clean code. Let's document these decisions and start implementing. Thanks, everyone.
Summary of the meeting decisions. Database, PostgreSQL. Authentication, Passport.js. Project structure, clean architecture, domain, use cases, interface adapters, infrastructure. CI/CD, GitHub Actions for CI, Circle CI for CD. Clean code practices, ESLint, prettier, regular code reviews, and thorough documentation.